Two of college basketball's biggest rivals, Duke and North Carolina, began their NCAA tournament runs today. The Duke Blue Devils are the #1 overall seed and are leading the East region. Other top teams in the region include Michigan State and LSU. They both won their first games yesterday. On the other side of the bracket, the North Carolina Tar Heels lead the Midwest region, and three of their biggest competitors, Kentucky, Kansas, and Auburn, also won their first games yesterday. Aaron Anderson is a sportscaster at our Raleigh affiliate, WNCN, and he joins me now from outside the Colonial Life Arena in Columbia, South Carolina. So, Aaron, let's start with Duke. The team faces North Dakota State tonight. It's heavily favored to win. What's head coach of Duke, Mike Krzyzewski, doing to try to keep the team focused tonight?
Well, look, that's what's interesting about this basketball program, because in terms of managing expectations, these kids come to Durham every year with one goal in mind, and that is to hang a national championship inside a banner inside Cameron Indoor Stadium. So that is the expectation every year. Yes, they're the top overall seed, but these kids signed on with that in mind, the fact that they wanted to compete for a national championship. In terms of focus, that's what's curious, because you're talking about 18 and 19-year-old kids. I don't know that I've been around a team as focused as this one. And what you have to keep in mind is the journey began in August when Duke took a barn-storming trip through Canada, R.J. Barrett's home country. And the team had a chance to practice 8 different times prior to that trip. They also had ESPN chronicle their every step in a documentary. So they've been in front of bright lights. They've been in front of cameras. They opened the season with Kentucky, which was then ranked #1 in the Tip-Off Classic. This team loves the big stage. As far as expectations, yes, the national championship is in the distance, but that's what these kids have had their eyes on the entire season. So believe me when I tell you, Duke is ready to go.
You know, this is what I love about college hoops, is that these guys are so focused. You're cheering for them. I've been slightly obsessed with Zion Williamson, one of Duke's major stars, obviously. What can we expect from him in the tournament?
Well, this is, in fact, these 2 games, assuming Duke wins, and everybody does, they're pretty much a lock to do so, favored by 27 tonight against the Bison of North Dakota State. This is a homecoming for Zion Williamson. He grew up in Spartanburg, South Carolina, which is about 90 minutes away. He talked at great length yesterday about hoping he would have a chance to play big-time college basketball in his home state, which is, in fact, what's happening right now. I expect him to play very well. I expect him to put on a show, and so does CBS. For the first time in tournament history, they're going to have one camera devoted to one player, the Zion cam, following his every move, just in case he does something special. And I got to tell you, having seen him about 15 times in person, no matter how many times you see him, he always does something that makes your jaw drop. I expect a lot of that, not only tonight, but Sunday night and throughout this NCAA tournament.
I love this idea of the Zion Cam. I really, really love this idea. I'm fascinated by him, but I got to ask you, I got to move on and ask you about North Carolina. What are the Tar Heels doing to rebound after a loss in the ACC tournament finals?
Well, that one stings, right? Anytime you lose to your crosstown rival, your cross-state rival, whatever it might be, it hurts a little bit. But in North Carolina, the only tournament that really matters is the one that's going to start tonight for both those teams. I'm talking about the NCAA tournament. So while they did lose to Duke in the semifinals in Charlotte in the ACC tournament, that isn't really the major thrust of what these teams are after. So, look, they won 8 straight games heading in. They lost by 1. They had a chance to win that game at the buzzer. I think they're hoping, I think a lot of us are hoping that Duke and North Carolina will collide again in April. We'll have to wait and see how that one plays out.
Is that horn behind you someone who's excited about the Zion Cam, or is that someone who's weighing in on another team back there?
I think that's the Zion home. I think there's a train from Spartanburg, South Carolina, pumping fans in here to Columbia. I wouldn't be surprised. That's how much hype this kid has.
All right, Aaron Anderson, I want to thank you very much for joining us, Aaron.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.